Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your reading. This is Bright Soul Collective Tarot. My name is Laura, and these are going to be your intuitive insights and advice for the month of May 2022. So I am super excited to see what the month has to hold for you. I hope you're all doing well. I'm just going to make a little disclaimer that this month I am going to try out a new format. It's my intention that the readings are going to be a bit more brief. April has been a really busy, really crazy month. I've been all over the place, and I was actually like, my energy's been kind of off. I was actually thinking about not doing readings, and then I decided like I'm going to go ahead with it because I know it's something that's really good for me. I really enjoy doing it. So I'm hoping that I can cut down the timing so that it'll be reasonable for me to record all 12 videos for the month of May. So I will be drawing less cards, and I've got your one oracle card here for this month. We'll pull some tarot and some affirmations, and I'll finish off with another oracle card, which I will read directly from the guidebook to help kind of tie everything together. And I will start with your channeled messages as always, which I've capped at 5 for this month, just to kind of keep things a little bit on the more brief side. So we'll see how well I do in that aspect. And so before we get started, as usual, do keep in mind that these readings are general in nature, so not all of the details that come through will pertain to you specifically. Definitely take anything and everything that does resonate for you, however that makes sense for your specific situation. Keep an open mind to anything that might be helpful as you move throughout the month, and simply leave the rest. So Virgo, I did take some time to channel some messages. And so technically when I'm reading the cards, I'm also channeling messages and information, but I like to take time to channel without cards. So before I had your oracle card come out, I took some time to connect with your energy. And even as I was doing like the pre-shuffle of the cards, I was connecting with your energy. So right before I get into the channel details specifically, I will tell you what I was picking up on. As I was preparing, I kind of felt like a little bit hazy, a little bit disjointed, like in my head. So it's kind of like maybe just a little bit out of it, a little bit unfocused. It wasn't anything like really super kind of obnoxious. It wasn't really inhibiting me in any way. It's just kind of like a general haziness. Sometimes I get that if it's attached to an anxious energy, or it's like being really busy and on the go, it kind of like makes your head spin. This wasn't really attached to any kind of anxiety or chaos. It could be for you if that makes sense for you, but this was just kind of like a slow, disjointed energy. Like I felt a little absent-minded. So that might be something that you're experiencing, might be something to be aware of. And you know, it might just be necessary this month. It might be a good time for you to just slow down, pay a little bit more attention to everything that you're doing, you know, take your time, savor, you know, whatever you happen to be doing. It was not like a very sharp or quick moving energy. So I'm not sure if that makes sense for you currently, or maybe it will make sense to you as the month progresses, but something to keep in mind because it was very apparent to me that I was picking up on that. Okay, so we're going to get into your channeled messages. Your first message, it was very interesting. So it was kind of like force script and like reprogramming. And interestingly enough, as I had my eyes closed, I kind of pictured a computer screen, like a black computer screen, and like lines of like data. So this could very much be like in terms of computer programming. You could be a programmer or a developer. I don't know if that might make sense to you. There might be something that you're working on in terms of having to like rewrite script. I have no idea what force script is either. I don't know if that even makes any sense. So I don't know, maybe that makes sense to you. But yeah, there was a sense of kind of like reprogramming or having to go in and like look for an error and like fix it. But it's not just in like a very technical, practical way, like in an actual computer program that could be. But I got the sense in terms of like reprogramming your brain, your habits, your perceptions. And the way that it kind of came across to me is like, if you are a very logical, kind of practical person, it might be helpful to you when you are trying to make changes in your life or adjustments or to develop new habits. Like maybe that's something that you visualize, or it might be helpful to you to have that kind of like really tangible example. It's like going into your brain and like rewriting the script, right? So it's kind of like you're not attached to anything. You don't have to be bound to whatever is already. You can just kind of like go in and tweak it, and see how that plays out and just kind of continue to go back in. So it could be that you're working on yourself in terms of personal development. It could also just be literal computer programming. The interesting thing is your second channeled message, the thing that came through was logical awesome. And it made me think of Spock, Spock being super logical. And also there was a meme that I saw a long time ago of Spock like DJing, and it just said logical awesome. So that in particular might be significant to you. But when I Googled logical awesome to see if there's any kind of like anything associated to it, it said that Logical Awesome is the team behind GitHub. I had no idea what GitHub was, but it turns out it is like a community of developers, like open source, people collaborating. So again, that's kind of in the same vein with like programming, writing script. So you could very well be a programmer or have some kind of connection to someone like that. But again, it could just be emphasis on having like a very logical, grounded, and practical approach, being able to take that approach and apply that to other areas of your life in terms of learning and development to kind of make everything nice and clean, and clear cut, and kind of recognizing the power that comes along with being logical and practical. And using that to your advantage, particularly if you're in situations that could otherwise be, really challenging or perhaps, sparking emotions. If you're dealing with other people that are a little bit elevated emotionally or irrational, it could be that you're somebody that has a grounded approach. You're able to explain things in such a way that you can bring those people kind of down, de-escalate, explain in a way that they'll understand. It's kind of like the power of being able to use that to your advantage. And to kind of be, able to sometimes logic your way out of situations, and to find solutions that maybe other people would not think of or that wouldn't occur to them. So that was kind of cool. The next thing that came through was Fragrant Flowers. So of course we're in May, April showers bring May flowers. Things are kind of starting to come into bloom. So it doesn't necessarily surprise me that flowers might be something that you're contending with this month. It could be in specific that you've got an affinity for plants and flowers. Perhaps you're working on your garden. Perhaps it's just, trying to surround yourself with beautiful flowers and fragrances. It could be the fragrance of a specific flower, maybe in like a body, like a personal care product or something like that, if that has any significance to you. The next thing, your fourth channeled message is grateful for you. So this could be in terms of a specific individual feeling a depth of gratitude for you, everything that you do for them, everything that you are, what you bring to their life. Perhaps you'll be in a position where people are expressing that to you, opening up to you, appreciating you. It could also be in terms of you and your gratitude, recognizing the people in your life that are the most important, taking time to recognize and express gratitude to them, and not only like in terms of sharing that with them, but also in terms of a personal practice. It's really good for our relationships, especially like intimate relationships, closer relationships with spouses, friends, family members, sometimes even coworkers, depending on your level of connection to them. Just allowing yourself to see the good, to see what other people bring you, and to experience and express that gratitude. It's going to help deepen your level of connection to yourself, and that kind of connecting with that positive energy and gratitude also kind of puts you in a place where you're open to receiving more. So that might be something that you already kind of feel inclined to do. It might be a good practice for you this month, particularly if you are feeling a bit disconnected from the people around you or left out. It might be someone in particular that you're really connecting with on a deeper level this month. I'm not sure. And your fifth and final channeled message that came through was also very interesting. So it was like the concept of a soul that cannot be corrupted. And so, which is like a very bizarre idea, like, oh, I have an incorruptible soul. Like we're all we're all mortal, we all make mistakes, we're all learning and growing. We came here to have experiences. So I didn't get that in the sense that like you legitimately are incorruptible, but it's kind of like the idea of striving for that, right? Like striving to have a greater level of awareness of your values, your morals, ensuring that what you think and say and feel and do are in alignment, that you're representing yourself in the best light, being true to yourself, that you're not participating in things that are kind of like damaging or toxic or below you, not allowing yourself to be influenced by other people or experiences that could kind of take you off your course. So yeah, it's just kind of striving to connect with that morality and to make sure that you are doing the right thing, saying the right thing, conducting yourself, and not from a place of trying to be like pious or like holier than thou, but just because like that's who you are, that's what's important to you, and it's honoring yourself, honoring people around you, doing right by yourself and others. So like, for example, if you are in a situation where somebody is, speaking poorly of someone else or slandering someone else, and that makes you uncomfortable, it's either saying something to stop it or removing yourself from that situation, especially if they're looking to you to corroborate or like participate in that kind of exchange. And so it's just kind of like standing in your power when it comes to that. So striving to be somebody who is, conducting themselves appropriately, being authentic, and isn't going to be manipulated or taken off course by someone who doesn't necessarily have your best interests at heart. So very interesting. So we will get into your oracle card for this month. So this is going to be kind of like the overall energy theme, like message for this month. And so you've got Treasure Island, which is really cute. So there's this little turtle with a box of treasure, and then you can see there's like little hearts and stars and things coming out of it. And the thing that immediately stood out to me on this card was the turtle. So it's like just really grabbed my eye. So I don't know, turtles might be significant. I looked up like the spiritual kind of significance of turtles in general, because I have no idea. And it says that they symbolize longevity, perseverance, steadfastness, protection, retreat, and healing, and tranquility as well. So it may not be that you have a connection to turtles directly. You very well could, but it also could be, being able to connect with those qualities this month, or really being able to dig deep and kind of expand on those qualities, recognize how they exist in you and lean further into that. The thing that I really love about this whole visual right here, and Treasure Island in general, Treasure Island gives us the sense that, there's a huge amount of abundance. And this card really does emphasize that this month could very well be extremely abundant. And that could be, in a material sense in terms of finances, pay, savings. Maybe you're going to get a really nice tax return or a raise. Maybe it's enjoying the abundance that you have. It could be coming into possession of valuable items, or but it can also, abundance comes in many forms. So it can be love, relationships, spending quality time with people. There's so many ways that can materialize, and it's very well supported for you. So it seems like that's like a really, really beautiful energy for you to be connecting with this month, and recognizing the abundance around you. And I think not only recognizing it, but being grateful for it, expressing gratitude, and allowing yourself to receive and enjoy, and to recognize the abundance that's available to you. And the more that you kind of connect with gratitude for that abundance, the more that you open yourself up to receiving more. And the more willing you're going to be to share that beautiful treasure, however that materializes for you, in whatever form that takes, to be able to share that with other people. Because the beautiful like things that we have in life, abundance, whether it's love, whether it's money, whether it's material, material items or resources. It could just be time, understanding, compassion, support. When we share those with other people, because we recognize that we have an abundance, we not only positively impact them, but those kinds of positive qualities are magnified, when shared with other people. It spreads, and then it's kind of like, it can be a chain reaction where it's like share with someone, you make them feel good, and it inspires them to be charitable with others, and it kind of it extends out further than you, which is kind of neat, because it's like, if you're the treasure island or you're on the treasure island, then it's like whatever you do with that abundance, with that treasure, is going to ripple outward and ultimately affect other people, more than just you and your immediate kind of circle. The other thing that I really love about this is that the turtle is the island, so it's not an actual physical island. So the turtle is the island, and it gives me the sense of like recognizing your own strength, your own sovereignty, your capability, your ability to kind of support yourself, propel yourself, protect yourself. And it's being your own island, recognizing your strengths, recognizing everything that you have, all of the hard work that you've done and how that has impacted your life, and how that's materialized in abundance for you. And it's like the turtle has its shell and can kind of retreat into safety. And so it's kind of like recognizing that your relationship with yourself and the way that you speak to and think about and treat yourself is like the most important kind of aspect of your life, right? Because if you are your own island, then having the ability to kind of align with yourself, protect yourself, steer yourself in the right direction. If thinking about you being your own kind of treasure island, it's like your abundance is deeply connected to you and how you view yourself and what you do, right? And so it's kind of neat, because this abundance, you're not necessarily relying on other people. You're not necessarily looking for validation or understanding from other people. You're not looking for it to come externally from other individuals, although it very well could, but it's very much like an independent, like you brought this to yourself, right? So Treasure Island has a lot to do with the law of attraction, what we put out into the universe, the way that we conduct ourselves, and how that comes back to us. For the channeled message coming through, trying to be an uncorruptible spirit, and conducting yourself in a moral way. I think that's really important, because I have a feeling that perhaps this month, the things that you do, the things that you take action on, the things that you kind of speak into existence and put out into the world might very well quickly manifest for you, or results in abundance, connect you with abundance. They might be reflected to you more readily in your external environment. And so it's like, if that is not necessarily positive or reflective of who you are and what you value, it's kind of like, be careful what you wish for. Be mindful of how you conduct yourself, because that could come back to you in ways that may not be aligned with what you want. So be careful about the way that you speak about yourself and others, think about yourself and others, and recognize that ultimately what you're putting out is what's going to come back to you. So it's like, you want that to be good, positive, aligned with who you are and what's most important to you. So yeah, anything like any kind of education, any kind of business moves, anything creative is really highly favored for you this month. So if there's something in particular that you're already working on, or that you would like to work on, this is kind of the idea of, if you've been putting your head down, if you've been focused and working hard and really kind of putting the effort in to get to where you want to be, or to create something that you want to create, this is finally seeing all of that hard work begin to take form in the material world, or start to come back to you. And it's also saying that in addition to perhaps seeing that abundance come in, or maybe even just it's already in your existence, and it's just allowing yourself to become aware of it, to appreciate it, to see all of you've done, and to express gratitude for it, so that it can impact you and help kind of take you to that next level in terms of your manifestation, or whatever you're putting your energy into. It's also saying that, like, if you allow yourself to connect with abundance, to appreciate it, to enjoy it, and just share it with others, then you might be surprised that you will more readily connect with more opportunity, right? More opportunity for abundance, more opportunity to do the things that are most important to you. So it's kind of like there may be a lot of opportunity to advance in any given way, or to connect with certain people or certain resources that you might not otherwise think would be available to you. And that can also be a way that abundance takes shape. So it's really important to be aware, because, putting your head down and doing the work is kind of like the beginning step. And when you start to be able to reap the rewards of those seeds that you've planted, then it's kind of like, how do you know, right? How do you know what direction to continue going in, right? And when you've begun to kind of manifest, or to have, your hard work paying off, then it's like, to continue on that path, you really just have to be able to trust yourself. So it's like, if you've uncovered treasure, or you're on that path, how do you know when X marks the spot? Like, how do you know what that thing is? And it's really just your intuition, your own awareness, and your connection to yourself. And so it's like not allowing yourself to get off track or disconnected or distracted by anything and anyone outside of yourself that might prevent you from connecting or recognizing these opportunities. And it's like staying in touch with your intuition and what's most meaningful to you, because that is going to help you kind of uncover that treasure, because that treasure can be anything, but it is uniquely yours. It's not necessarily going to be something typical, right? It's your personal journey. So we'll pull you some tarot cards to get an idea. Okay, so your first card is the 10 of Swords. Your second card is the 3 of Cups. Your third card is the Devil. I'm just going to prop this up a little bit. Make some more room. And we'll get you one more card for this month. 2 of Pentacles. Let's see what we've got at the bottom of the deck. Is the 9 of Pentacles. Hold on, let me just move this up out of the way. Okay. Yeah, so interesting. So Virgo, for this month, which, it's all about abundance, gratitude, connecting with, enjoying, appreciating abundance in whatever form that takes shape in your life, and being willing to share that with others. It's being aware of your relationships as well. So this can be a really good month for love, friendship, connection, sharing meaningful moments with people, kind of like uncovering the hidden treasure within your relationships, always kind of learning and developing and seeing new things. Even in people that you might have known for a long time. But you are being encouraged to come into the month in this 10 of Swords energy, which is kind of like, it's kind of like release. It's being at the end of a long road of, it could be emotional turmoil, it could be overthinking, it could be stress and anxiety, but it's like kind of coming out of that. So you may have had a lot going on, you may have had a lot of limiting beliefs or difficult thoughts that you've been working through, and it's kind of being willing to recognize what's no longer serving you, the thoughts, perceptions, beliefs, the things that you've been hanging on to that might be holding you back or keeping you from reaching your potential, or really embracing your authenticity and what's best for you. And it's kind of like the freedom to move away from that, and to choose a path forward that's going to make more sense to you. Because if our beliefs are our reality, right? If perception is reality, then the way that you think about how you perceive the world is really going to determine how you move through it. And so this is basically kind of saying, like, a lot of times we do have the choice. We think that we're programmed a certain way, but we do have the choice to recognize, if we're able to become the observer of our thoughts and our experiences, then we're able to see like how we're reacting to certain situations. And perhaps sometimes we limit ourselves in ways that are so subtle that it's difficult to really truly be aware of it. And so this is kind of like coming into awareness of how you've been thinking, how you've been moving through the world, and maybe the ways that you've been holding yourself back, and realizing that those things that influenced you are not necessarily real or true to you, right? And being able to recognize that if it's not empowering you, it's not serving you, not connecting you to your potential or who you feel you really are, then it's okay to walk away from it. And this pertains to people too. And it's like, she's kind of standing, there's light, she's looking out into the horizon at all the opportunity ahead of her, and she's letting these dark thoughts and feelings that might otherwise kind of cloud her judgment or keep her from seizing opportunity, she's allowing those to kind of fly away. And so I think that's really beautiful, because it's basically saying, like, letting go of the heavy stuff that's keeping you stuck or holding you back. This can also be the ways that you might sabotage yourself. So that's what you're being encouraged to connect with moving into the month of May. And that makes a lot of sense, because if you have the opportunity for abundance, if there's new kind of resources and opportunities coming in, you want to be able to be open to that and to see it. And these kind of negative thoughts that can come up as a result of like difficult previous experiences are the types of things that will keep you from really recognizing opportunities and connecting with that abundance. So I think that's really wonderful. Your challenge for this month actually looks like it's in relation to, connection to other people and celebrating and enjoying time. So the Three of Cups, this is, it's a card of connection, closeness, shared thoughts, feelings, emotions. It can be celebrating, enjoying friendships, connecting with people that you enjoy, having a good time. And so it might be, maybe it's kind of like all work and no play. Maybe you've got a lot going on. Maybe you're feeling distance or separated from people that, that you would normally really deeply connect with, share your life experience with. Or perhaps you don't have a large network. You don't have to have a large network in general. You can have even just one person is enough. But perhaps you don't have a network of people, or have people that you can kind of be that way with, to become vulnerable with. But this can also be about transcending the superficial, right? So the part of us that says like, yeah, I'm okay, yeah, I'm fine, yeah, things are good, but like that might not be true. That might not be all. There might be a lot of stuff going on under the surface. And this is being willing to connect with people in a really meaningful way. So having vulnerability, and really like being honest, trusting people, letting them hold space for you, to allow a deeper level of connection, and holding space for them. And it's kind of like a very beautiful, joyful, celebrated, reciprocal kind of energy. So it might be difficult for you to connect with people on that level, to be aware of your emotions, to share your emotions, especially if you're a particularly logical person, especially if you do have past experiences that caused you hurt, that make you kind of want to close off from other people, that make you feel kind of doubtful, or maybe lacking in terms of trusting people. Because this is the energy of really being able to connect. It's like a sisterhood, right? And so that can apply to any and all of your relationships. And so I don't know if that makes sense for you, but that's coming up as the challenge. So you might be challenged to really kind of start connecting with people on a deeper level, expressing more of your emotions, sharing more of your emotions, more of your inner world, and allowing that energy to connect you to other people on a deeper level. Because if that's something that's difficult for you and that you don't often do, then there's a depth of connection in your relationships that you're missing out on. And it seems like that is part of the abundance that you're meant to experience, is like love and connection with other people. That, it's that depth and that, basis of connection that allows us to really, really deeply, enjoy the presence of other people and to celebrate the good things, right? And so in terms of overcoming this challenge or this energy, you're being asked to kind of be mindful of be mindful of your ego, like anytime that pride comes into play. But also like temptation. So this, like, honestly, this makes me think of like the temptation to be corrupted by others. So it's like anytime that your morals or your values come into question, or you're tempted, maybe you're dealing with individuals that you don't necessarily agree with or align with, and there's that kind of temptation to fall into, it could be like um, a negative kind of energy. It could be speaking poorly about somebody. It could be, just doing something for the sake of appeasing someone because you don't want to rock the boat. And so this is like being very mindful about what you're doing and why, what's motivating you. And if you really are kind of, if you're really doing the best by yourself, if you're really kind of connecting with who you are and expressing that. So it's like not allowing yourself to be influenced by things outside of you, people, places, things. It could be money. It could be fear, lack mentality, fear of failure. So it's like, it's basically kind of anything that would override, what is truly best for you. Anything that might tempt you. It could be alcohol. It could be food. It could be negativity. It could be, other people who are not a good influence. And so it's kind of like recognizing the things that have power over you, the things that kind of make you feel helpless, feel powerless. Maybe like you don't have the energy or the skill or the willpower to overcome. And it's knowing that you truly do. And that you don't have to be bound. You don't have to be a puppet. You don't have to be at the effect of your life. You can, kind of take the reins. So it's kind of anything that you feel is weighing you down, anything that's not necessarily contributing positively to your life or allowing you to kind of be your best self, to express yourself. And this can be like, just giving in to situations that aren't right. Because it's like, whatever, right? So it's just being really aware of what is most important to you, what's motivating you, and kind of ensuring that that's coming from a healthy, holistic place that you can feel good about, because that is directly related to your abundance and, and the treasure that's available to you. It's like, if you allow yourself to be influenced by things that are taking you in a not so great direction, which that's what the devil is about, is temptation. This is also Capricorn energy. So it's kind of like being aware of what holds power over you, because that's where a lot of the fear and limiting beliefs come from. That's how we kind of, we can undercut ourselves, undermine ourselves, and that can in turn prevent us from really being free to enjoy, our emotional experiences and to connect with people and to really truly celebrate on a deeper level and to connect with the people around us. And the lovely thing is the highest possible outcome for this month, if this energy makes sense to you and you're moving through that, is being able to bring things more into balance. So the practical world around you, the way that you take action in the world, your physical, tangible resources, money, home, material belongings, to balance that out with the less tangible. So your thoughts, your emotions. If you're a spiritual person, it could be spiritual practice, wellness, mental health. And so it's kind of like recognizing that we need to do both, right? We need to have some kind of spiritual practice, some kind of connection to self and awareness of self and working on that. But also we need to exist in the physical world. We can't be, one or the other. We have to kind of always strive to keep our awareness in a place that allows us to keep track of where we are and what we need, and to keep that in balance, right? It's going to be a dance. And so it's kind of like, especially if you are overcoming a lot of like negativity or limiting beliefs, letting go of fear, this is very much about kind of like allowing the code to be rewritten, right? So it's like, if you are in a place where you're trying to give yourself more freedom and to empower yourself to move through the world in a way that is authentic and meaningful to you and what you value, then this is kind of like this might be a stage of healing, and not just healing, but connecting with people on a deeper level that are going to be able to support you in doing that and help you kind of bring things more into balance. And with the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, that is a very solid, stable, independent energy. It's being able, it could be having a really stable job, having an abundance of money, material possessions, not wanting for material things. And it doesn't mean you have to have a huge abundance, but it's basically like being comfortable, being stable, being able to provide for yourself, and not only provide for yourself, but to enjoy the fruits of your labor, to enjoy your money, to enjoy your home, enjoy your material belongings. And it's kind of like the more that you connect with all of the abundance that is currently available to you and allowing yourself to appreciate and enjoy not only that abundance, but the hard work that has gotten you there, the more able you are to connect with that abundance and the opportunity to kind of like manifest more of that. So that's a really lovely thing. This could be related to your career. It could be related to a really solid relationship, your home life, like a material goal that you've got. So I think that's really, really positive energy for you this month, Virgo. I'm going to pull you a couple of affirmations, and then we'll finish off with the oracle card, which I'm going to read directly from the deck. So maybe we'll get you 2 affirmations for this month. There's one. I can find peace in every breath. Yeah, so it's kind of like freedom and opportunity, and just like taking it easy, right? Like this turtle is not stressed, right? It's trusting that the abundance is there, even if it's not readily available to you right now. Sometimes you just have to kind of float and stop long enough to recognize how that shows up for you. And like how you value abundance too. It's what you think about the way that abundance shows up in your life, whether it's love, money, material belongings, job opportunities, however, creative, outlets. So I think that's very much related to like your relationship to yourself and your experience of peace, right? So the moment I begin to celebrate myself and focus on my successes is the moment I begin living. Yeah. So it's really wonderful because, like I said, this Treasure Island is about all of the hard work that you've put in, and finally seeing that come to fruition, or starting to see, the reward coming in for your hard work. And I think it's wonderful because I think the whole point is like, I don't know, maybe you're hard on yourself. Maybe you think that you always have to be working really, really hard. And, even when things start to kind of pan out for you, you don't necessarily allow yourself to slow down and enjoy. You don't want to rest on your laurels, or you think that if you take time to recognize your success and enjoy your abundance, that you're going to stagnate or something. This could very well have to do with your idea about independence, your ability to support yourself, your ability to be successful. And it's basically saying like it is inherent in you. It's not going away. And the moment that you start to kind of connect with yourself, to recognize your strength, the power in your logic, your authenticity, your morals and your values, and doing what aligns with you and what kind of like upholds those values, recognizing the success that you've been able to create for yourself already, that's when you're really going to start to enjoy life, right? And that might be that if there's any insecurity, or if you have really high expectations for yourself that are impossible to meet, or even if you meet those expectations and you immediately, find another thing to jump on that's not quite up to snuff, without really like kind of tooting your own horn just for yourself to recognize what you're capable of, then it's hard to connect with the abundance that comes as a result of your hard work. So yeah, it's like there's a whole lot more depth of love and happiness and enjoyment available to you. I think this month is a really good time to connect with that. And that's gonna, if there's like anything that you feel is like missing in terms of connection or happiness or relationships, this could very well be the month to kind of overcome whatever is standing in your way. So we're gonna get your oracle card. This reading is already longer than I had hoped, but at least Making a little progress here. So your card is citrine. Love it. This is actually a citrine here. Okay, so I'm just going to look up directly from the guidebook and I will read it to you. Right, so the key words for citrine are joyful expressiveness, exuberance, and happiness, letting go of any and all negativity. So it says, now is the time for you to be and to experience the tremendous joy available to you. With all the hard work you do to overcome your old patterns, heal the wounds of the past, and forgive yourself and others as you walk the healing path, you might find that you have forgotten how to just have fun and laugh. Be happy today. Citrine Spirit is here to amplify the joy in your life, so feel it and express it as if you are broadcasting it to the entire planet, because you are. However serious life may feel, the conscious universe really wants all of us to have fun, so you are doing important work when you exuberantly share your joy with the world. Make time for pure playfulness and joy today, which that could be the way that, that this abundance is manifesting for you. That could be your treasure, your happiness and joy, more opportunities to connect with that and letting yourself lean into that. There's a relationship message as well. In our relationships, we work to build foundations of love and trust. And one way we do that is through simply spending time together having fun. Do something with someone else, some activity that you enjoy or that neither of you have tried before that will make your hearts happy. Being adventurous can be fun even if the experience doesn't turn out quite as you expected and the rain insists on falling on your parade. And tend to find something funny and positive in whatever you do with others today, and joy will be your gift, magnified by the power of citrine. Remember, your joy encourages and inspires others to let go of their sadness and cynicism, so don't hold back, radiate happiness. It's kind of like what I was saying. It just ripples outward from you. There's a prosperity message as well. To prosper is to thrive and flourish, and choosing to be joyful can take us out of the doldrums of our everyday tasks and into pleasure and happiness. Even if you have financial obligations to attend to today and you're not looking forward to the chore, bring a sense of fun to the table. You are building your wealth and engaging the flow of abundance, the universe and universal consciousness. Joyful enthusiasm can help you discover new ways to invest in expanding your wealth. The possibilities for prosperity are endless, so let yourself be happy at the thought of what you might co-create. And if you're into meditation, there's a crystal spirit meditation for citrine. Citrine is a strong stone that teaches how to create abundance by taking action from an enthusiastic, heart-centered place. It helps us recognize the value in all that we have, teaching us gratitude and the lesson that true abundance is not about monetary worth. So I think that's really wonderful. Lots of gratitude, lots of abundance coming through in many forms. Connecting with joy and happiness, allowing that to impact your relationships as well. I think that's really wonderful. And the one thing that I do want to add just in hindsight, because something kind of triggered as I was reading that, is in terms of connecting with and experiencing joy with other people, sharing that with other people, that might be how this comes through. With the devil being here, that really can be like vices. So it could be like drugs, alcohol, gossip, anything that's not quite good for us, anything that tempts us to kind of step kind of like down, not necessarily hit our potential. So this could also be like in terms of connecting with and spending time and enjoying other people. If you're somebody who drinks a lot, or you hang out with people who drink a lot, or drinking, or like engaging in maybe like unhealthy low vibrational energies that don't make you feel good, if that's part of your interactions, then that could be part of what's standing in your way of really connecting with and sharing that true joy with people. So also being mindful if that might impact you, it's like maybe bringing that more into balance, and not saying that you can't drink and party and have a good time and that you have to be like a saint or anything like that, but that could be having an influence on your relationships, your friendships, the types of connections that you have. Just something to add on there. So anyways, Virgo, that is your reading for this month. I hope that this was helpful to you. If you enjoyed this reading, the best way to support me is to like the video, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, you can head on over to Bright Soul Collective Tarot, check out some of my other videos, and make sure that you hit subscribe. And also subscribe to my notifications, and that will keep you up to date on new videos as they're posted. And if there's anyone you could think of that might benefit from these readings, feel free to share as well. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure reading for you. I hope that you enjoy the month of May, make the most of this energy, and I am very much looking forward to reading for you again next month. In the meantime, I'm wishing you all the very best.